This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everybody. I promise this is going to make you think for a moment. A little bit of reflection is going to come your way when I say this. What is happiness? Think about that for a moment. Comes in many different shapes and forms, although we think it does. What is happiness to you? How do you find happiness? Can you buy happiness? We're going to dig into that today. I know it sounds pretty simple, but it goes a little bit deeper than that, I assure you. She's a holistic healer at Kate's Holistic Healing, and she's also an author on many great books about meditation and self-healing, and rejoins us again. How are you doing today, Kate Blecher?
I'm doing very well, Steve. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have a returning guest in the house. Who's that? Refresh us.
Oh, I'm so glad to have Kayak here to join me. He's an associate of mine, and he's a yoga teacher and a therapist, and he's an expert.
Just amazing.
Yes.
Amazing at everything.
Let the adjectives fly. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Just let it rip. I'll sit here and bask in the glow of confidence.
Sure. So this thing called happiness, I when you start thinking deeper about it, and even if you look at it in terms of energy and vibration, I always thought that it was the highest vibration that there is. I always heard that shame, not sadness, but shame is the lowest vibration at the top there. It would be happy or happiness, but it's not, as I understand it. Joy is above happiness. Can we define what joy is and what happiness is? I'm not sure I could do that. I'd have to think deep.
Well, actually, on your scale, above joy and happiness, the highest is love.
Fair
and
enough.
The very lowest emotion we can feel is fear. And when people are afraid, the best advice you can give them is to reach for anger, because it's a higher vibrational state, and you'll be able to deal with whatever's happening to you with a more rational approach.
Thank you for that on the love side of things. I forgot to mention that. So yes, love would be the highest. And I would think joy maybe, and then happiness. I'm surprised. I always heard it was shame. And I've heard that from multiple people that's on the lowest side, but really not so much.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got a gun to your head, I'd rather feel shame.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. And it is.
That. I think shame for me. Fear doesn't tickle me the same way as shame tickles me. So again, but that's happiness. Why it's so hard to define is because it's different for everybody. What makes us happy? No two people have the secret sauce to happiness. We get happiness, that sense of that higher vibration we talked about, from so many different things that everybody has their own secret combination to happy.
Is there a difference between joy and happiness?
I think there is a beyond semantics. I think there is a difference between joy and happiness. If we went to the Eastern philosophy, happiness is not really defined in Eastern philosophy, because it's almost like a pseudo construct. What they talk about is contentment. And I think contentment is being satisfied, more positive than negative. That's contentment. Mm-hmm. Happiness is how our bodies feel it as an emotional response. And I think joy ties in better as a word to contentment.
Would you say that joy is more of an emotional response, but happiness is more the physical feeling?
I would agree 100%. I think happiness is instinctual. It can almost be visceral. It's what yoga would call a lower mind response. Joy is much more considered. It can be intellectual. It's processed by the higher mind, the adult mind. So I think joy, like if people really wanted to find that feeling in their life, whether they called it happiness or joy, you really have to go above base instinct of chasing this sense of buying, you said buying happiness. That's like the biggest downfall to the world today, is that people made happiness the goal instead of, it should be a side effect of the goals of living a better life, a cleaner life, making more considered choices, having love in your life. Happiness should never be the target, in my opinion. Happiness should be a side effect of all the other things that you aspire to.
I agree with you in my journey. And when you think of, I need this, I need that, the car, the house, all of that. Give me. It's going to be great. That's going to make me happy. It goes back to that. I forget what the phrase is, but essentially it's, I'll be this when that. So, I'll be happy when I get a better job. I'll be happy when I change my life situation, whatever it is. But then you get there, and are you really happy? A lot of times, even winning the lottery, we're millions of dollars, it's going to be great. Typically, I think it's about 90% of people that win the lottery say, no, I'm not happy. I spent all the money. I'm more miserable now than I was, before that. But we put this illusory connected to these materialistic things that's going to bring happiness, but ultimately it really doesn't, right?
No, prosperity, money, that is not the path to happiness. I mean, I find happiness more in relationships that I have with other people, controlling my own thoughts, focusing on the positive, ignoring the negatives and the bad self-talk. And when you get the building blocks in place, your happiness just grows. So whatever job you have, you take it with you. You change your job, you win the lottery, you might actually get happy. But you're right, about 90% of people that win the lottery revert back to their old lives and spend it all.
Yep.
And
happiness is a very fluid line in the sand. And that's why you mentioned before, you defined it, if I get to this point, I'll be happy. But it's not true. You get to that point, and then there's a new line in front of you. So it's constantly like the dog chasing its own tail. It's happiness is a very fleeting target to hit, because it's very temporary for most people. But it almost becomes an addiction where people chase this idea of being happy. And again, from my standpoint, I would rather focus on achievable goals and then enjoy the happiness reaching those goals create. You mentioned new car, new house. I mean, if that's what defines your happiness, it will never be enough. You'll never get the nicer house, the nicer car. Somebody will always outdo you, your neighbor, your siblings, your parents. Somebody will always beat you to that next layer of happiness. And it becomes really self-defeating. It
is so true. And here's the reality. All those things are temporary. In fact, everything is temporary. We are temporary. You could have that house. Oh, it's fantastic. Blah, blah, blah. And tomorrow you lose your job. And in 6 months from right now, that house is going away. You can't afford it. Same thing with a relationship. This is the best relationship ever. We're happy. Blah, blah, blah. Well, someday somebody could say, no, I'm done. I don't want to be with you anymore. But,
and
all right.
That's how fragile it is.
Exactly.
Take it from you, as quickly as you go seek it.
Right.
But we live in a world where happiness is marketed almost financially. Like Amazon exists, this free instant shipping is meant to check the happy box.
Yes, but it's so true.
Your credit card statement comes in and the happy box gets obliterated.
Yep.
But people want that instant gratification, and they mistake that for happiness, and it's not. Like Kate said, my greatest levels of happiness come from the people I share my life with. What
do you suggest for people? And we've said this, all of us have said it. I just want to be happy. Like in the end, where you start realizing life in general, that these things aren't really working for you and you're not really happy. I just want to be happy. When you're at that point, you finally have that realization. What's your suggestion for being happy?
I mean, I think people have to sit down and decide what their dreams are. And they can even look into their past and then say, how far have I come off that path? And what can I do to get new, clear dreams? and
Mm.
alter my objectives so I'll achieve them. And I think one of the things, I mean, I'm like Tom, it's the relationships I have in my life. And relationships should be measured by the depth and the feelings you have for one another and not by quantity. I mean, you can't have relationships with 20 people and call them all good friends. I mean, it's really, three, four, five is a good number of people to be really close to. And when you're with them, you just lift each other up and you can have happiness in all those instances.
I even heard recently that after a poll of adults, that we only have 3 close friends, maybe 4, but close. I mean, real super close. Some of us less, maybe some of us more, but that seems to be kind of the average. And it doesn't matter how many it is, as long as your connection with them is close, very close, and you feel connected. What about when it comes to happiness? Finding those little things that do bring you, though. I call them glimmers. And I think that comes from glimmer of hope, where those little things in your day just make you happy. It could be that cup of coffee that you look forward to. It's, your $3.38 if you go to a convenience store, not the coffee store. That just, makes you feel good. I did something for myself. I look forward to it, and that's that. Or just laying in bed at night. This is, that honestly, that's my new happy spot. I listen to music. I'm not even kidding. And I'm that person that's out all the time. I scaled it back in the last couple of months. Call it winter, maybe. I don't know. I'm good. I just want to relax. I want to chill, dog, the cats, listen to music, maybe a little bit of TV, get some work done, go to bed. And that's good. I feel peace. What's the connection between peace and happiness?
Well, they're directly linked. The way I would teach it to my students, and I'll substitute the word peace maybe with this idea of creating a world that you feel safe in, where you take care of yourself. You surround yourself with people who are cheerleaders, not critics. Because if you really, you can't be happy, quote unquote happy, if you live in an unsafe place, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. So, by just living a really deliberate, graceful life, you create this safe space, and happiness is an automatic kind of side effect of that. And peace or safety is the same thing. I love you use the word glimmer, because I think people, in my experience, we're all of us are only granted so many moments on this planet. And people focus on the big moments, the weddings, the parties, the births of children, but your life is 1% big moments, 99.9% glimmers or little moments. If you can figure out a way to make the little moments count, your life will be so much more fulfilling than if you just wait for those big events. We've all been to weddings. We've all seen these big moments. But like you said, laying in bed, chilling out, watching a movie, like if that's what literally fills you up emotionally, that's great. You don't have to have this big event.
Yep.
I really like to live like walking on the beach with my partner. I mean, to me, that's my greatest memories are our quietest moments.
Yes. And I realized that for the first time this past year, where I made a commitment to myself to go on vacation by myself. I'm always with somebody else. I never did it. And it's kind of awkward. I'm not going to lie. And I went to an Airbnb on an island, super dirt cheap. And it took me 2 days to come down from the New York state of mind to really get into the zone. 2 words, life-changing. Life-changing. That was happiness. That was everything for me. And guess what? 3 months later, I did the same exact thing. And I would spend hours every single day in a chair. The beach, the ocean was not even 20-second walk away. It was right there. I'd sit there all day just staring out. And as I'm looking around the second time, and I'm going back again in another couple of months, it's super cheap. It's cheaper to go there than it is to Florida. As I'm looking around, I said to myself, you know what? You manifested this. this is exactly what you were looking to do. And it finally hit me. I'm like, what's wrong with this? Nothing. There were no people around because it was out of season in the summertime. There was a little cantina restaurant that was delicious. It was like I had my own servers, which I couldn't get any better. To me, that was happiness. And that was my wake up to those little things where just doing nothing was doing something. It was a game, life changing. Really. I had such reflection. And now I crave it. Now I crave it. And I brought it up because you mentioned the beach, and it could be whatever you want. It could be taking a hike in the mountains, whatever it might be, wherever you find your peace. But I never thought of it that way when you both mentioned how peace is safety. Yeah, they are the same thing essentially. Because what do we want? We want to feel safe in life, right?
Definitely. But congratulations on manifesting exactly what you needed.
Thank you. I did.
And
It's funny. You really hit, again, I'll say it again, the secret sauce of happiness. If you think of all the people you spend the most time with in your life, you are that person. And I think we're so afraid of ourselves and our own truths inside our minds and our hearts that we just constantly distract ourselves so we don't go inward. We don't to have the courage to go away by ourselves because we don't think we're entertaining enough. We can't even entertain ourselves. But I think that if there is a secret tip to finding happiness, I would say doing exactly what you did. Go on, do something that matters to you by yourself. Learn to enjoy being in your own mind and your own heart. Enjoy spending time just by yourself or with yourself. To me, that's the opening paragraph to this whole story. If you are not happy with what's going on inside, there is no happiness, there is no safety, there is no peace.
But the way I would look at it is the most important, again, relationship you have is with yourself. And what's most important is self-love. I mean, if you can look at yourself and you're not critical, you're not regretting things, you're not putting yourself down, instead, you just love everything about you, then it's really hard not to be happy all the time because you're with your favorite person. The love is true. It's always going to be there. And you don't have a negative voice in your head pulling you down.
Truth. And I didn't realize that until I got to that point. And I couldn't have gone away unless I was good with myself. I really mean it. And so many of us, if we haven't gotten to that point where we love ourselves, that many of us just keep running because we're afraid to hear what's in our head. We keep ourselves busy so that we can avoid us. It's almost like that friend that comes, oh, they're over here again. Oh my God. That could be you if you're afraid to face you. But yeah, I completely agree with all of this. And especially that point that you have to get to that point where you're good with yourself, because let's face it, life is temporary. Nobody's going to love you more. Nobody's going to care about you more. Nobody's going to know you more. Nobody's going to know what you need more than you. I don't care who you're with. It's impossible. It's impossible.
And part of the teaching or training of yoga is to change that voice in your own head. A lot of us, the voice is very critical. It can be very negative. Like, again, you have two options. You can have the voice in your head as a critic or a cheerleader. And when you go away on a vacation by yourself and where there's nothing but your own voice in your head, it's great to go away with that cheerleader, not a critic, not saying you wasted all this money. You're here by yourself. You could have stayed home and made money or did whatever. You just have to learn to really be comfortable on the inner universe, the inside of who we are, before we worry about how we affect the outside of how we deal with other people.
Yeah.
Right. And the better we feel about ourselves, the more attractive we are to other people. And it makes our relationships and our friendships stronger.
Well, that's often been said. And I always heard it. And I'd be like, man, really? When they say you can't effectively love somebody else unless you truly love yourself. You just can't, because you don't know what love is. I'm going to share briefly, like 15 seconds. When I was away had some music on. That's my thing. I love music. And I heard this song. I heard many, many times, and I would always connect this song with couples. What a great song. Touch Me by The Doors. I'm not even into The Doors, but the song would come on. I'm thinking like, well, I'm going to love you till the stars fall from the sky. I can't sing. And I would hear that. I'm like, oh, what a wonderful song for somebody else. And it was on. And then all of a sudden, like a sledgehammer to my head, I thought, that's a song from you to you. Oh my gosh. And that was kind of my wake up to everything that we're talking about here. That was my wake up. That
could be a huge epiphany. Again, we never factor ourselves in to the way we relate to just being on this earth. Like I'll always tell my students, the person that deserves your own best effort is you. So if you really want to invest effort in somebody, pick yourself first. Take care of yourself. Exercise, read, get smarter, get faster, get more mobile, whatever you need to do. And then that little bit of second best effort to the people you love the most. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to have any for anybody else. And that's why going on vacation is such a good idea. It's almost like charging your own battery.
Isn't it a shame too that we feel guilty in doing those things?
Exactly. It's bad.
Right.
Right. And there shouldn't be any feelings of guilt. I mean, we should want to give ourselves everything we possibly can and be selfish about it.
You find has this happened for you both when you get to that point? And I'm assuming you're at a good point or a good place with yourselves, with everything we're talking about. You finally got there, like, you're good with yourselves. Maybe you love each other. I don't mean it that way. I mean, you love yourselves. But when you're there, do you realize that when things present, people, situations, you much more quickly realize that's not for me. I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to push that to the side instead of sucking it up. Well, maybe it's somebody that you feel doesn't really support your goals. And then you just go along with them because you just want to be nice and you want them to be there when you need them and all of that. But when you're in that better place with yourself, you're like, no, that doesn't support. I'm moving on from that situation. No, with kindness, no negativity. Do you find that happens as a byproduct of loving yourself?
I think so. I mean, again, I said before, we all only have a certain amount of moments on this planet, and to sacrifice however many moments to do something that doesn't lift you up or motivate you or bring you to a different place. Again, if it was the person I love most in the world, I'm willing to step outside of my comfort zone and deal, to do things that make that person happy if we want to do it that way. But I have a horrible problem with saying no to people. And I put myself in so many not bad places, but places I didn't want to be because I didn't want to hurt feelings. I didn't want to disappoint. Like you said, shame. We're back to the shame thing. Mm-hmm. So I throw my own happiness under the bus to lift them up. And why do I make their happiness more important to me than my own? It just doesn't make sense. So I don't want to be selfish, and I would never advise somebody to be selfish. But sometimes taking care of your own happiness is one of the most selfless things you can do.
Well, I think that gets us into maybe another topic in the future. One of the reasons, and I did that, and I know why I did it, because I'm going to say still do it to a small degree, a people pleaser. Why?
Right.
From childhood. You want to provide value. You want to be there. You want people to like you and all of that. So then it's like, you just say yes. Sure, I'll help you move on Saturday. Yeah, I'll be there. No. Meanwhile, I already have plans. I'm going to do something for me, whatever. But you still say it because, you want them to be there when you maybe need them, and you can't say no. As last time, wonderful talking with both of you. Kate, if somebody needs somebody to help with any of this or walk any kind of a journey from even a coaching or holistic level, what's the best way to connect with you?
Well, if they want to connect with me or with Tom, they can reach me through Kate's Holistic Healing. We have a website. We've got our phone numbers on it. You can send us an email, and we'll get back to you.
Love it. Kate and Tom, thank you for today. It took me a long time to figure this stuff out. If I had known you both were available, it would have been a lot faster, but that's all part of the journey. And I appreciate it. Looking forward next time we talk.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.